Evening, Broad Coven. I'm here to do a little dive into Native American zodiac birth totems with Al, the next up in this series, which is associated with the sign of Sagittarius. The dates for Al birth totem are November 23rd through December 21st, just as we enter that winter season is when the Owl totem closes out and then moves on to the one for Capricorn, which we'll be getting to later on this month. They'll have their time up to come in. But we're looking at Owl right now, and we're just going to get kind of like a view of what's ahead for you throughout the remainder of this year. But I wanted to sort of drop in a little bit and talk about the associations with your medicine, what it means to have Owl as a birth totem, and dive into a little bit of the roots of that so you can understand yourself on a deeper stratum of being. It's just adding a little more dimension to the zodiac, and I thought you all may appreciate this. I hope you enjoy learning about this perspective on astrology. So owls are known as the guardians of the underworld. They're very familiar with the shadow. They're not intimidated by the darkness, and they tend to know their dark sides rather well. They also enjoy diving into the mysteries. So many that are owl birth totems can be drawn to the occult arts. They can be drawn to explore the more mysterious, less understood aspects of life. Some can even be drawn to potentially detective work, you know, whether that's in their personal lives or as a career path. But they like investigating things, looking into things, peering into the unseen and discovering something there, because they're very curious, they're very inquisitive, and they always have a thirst for knowledge. As Ted's laughing away at the water back there. They are very thirsty for knowledge and wisdom, and they gain a lot from just peering into the lesser understood sides of life. They're not intimidated by this. They are very adventurous, and so they're bold and daring, and they're willing to do some things, take some risks that others aren't always so willing to take. You know, some say that they rush in where angels fear to tread, and this can be a little bit of the downside of their nature, just that owls do tend to be very impulsive, impetuous. They like to go where the passion takes them. They're freedom-loving people. They don't like to be hemmed in. They can't stand anybody that'll try to control them or put them in a box. They are a bit of the rebels, and they like to carve their own way in the world. They don't like to be told what to do. Sometimes this can put them a bit in their ego, and overcoming pride is one of their challenges in this life. It's one of their life path challenges, as is learning to have more tolerance for people who are different from them, see things differently, feel things differently. So sometimes they're being called to kind of broaden their perspective, broaden their minds. They are natural born shadow workers, though. You know, we did bring in this piece that they're very familiar with the shadow. They understand their darker natures. They understand the darker side of life, and they don't resist this. In fact, they understand that darkness is also a place of potentiality, and there is a real understanding of almost this like Nietzsche kind of perspective where as we headed into blocking darkness. 5 on the clock when I said that, okay? So maybe you've been experiencing some blockages related to what's not yet conscious. Owls. What do we got here? 9 of Swords in reverse. In the Owl Tarot, I just thought it was very fitting considering this is like really not understanding that the source of your anxiety, the source of your fears, the source of what has you on pins and needles or maybe not feeling at rest, it has nothing to do with the outside world. It has nothing to do with what you're projecting it on. It's something that is looming in the subconscious. Do you see this here? The shadows. I feel like you have an opportunity to turn this around through the remainder of the year, but it involves you really working with the medicine of your totem and diving really deep, that there's a lot of healing that can come through this for you. You know, because while you do seek knowledge and you do seek wisdom, you're also a truth seeker. And you can spot a liar from a mile away. I mean, nobody can pull the wool over your eyes. You're very intuitive. You're very perceptive. You can see hidden motivations. You can see things that others can't see necessarily. It's interesting. A light just went out over here too on the side. So, you know, you have a way of kind of like grokking things, feeling your way through situations, even if the truth isn't readily apparent. You may be dealing with some people through the remainder of this year where you doubt their intentions, you doubt their motives. You might be taking a keener eye at people and situations around you, trying to really get an accurate lay of the land, I got. And I also feel like you're going to be relying on the other strength of your birth totem, which is the ability to know when it's wise to keep secrets. Okay. You don't always have to announce everything, share everything. You might need to have a certain strategy in place right now with what you're heading towards. Yeah, I think you're trying to turn something around. Maybe you lost an opportunity or you suffered some kind of setback in relation to being stabbed in the back by people you once trusted. Maybe a lot of people around you revealed their true nature. And so now you're just kind of like laying low. You're flying under the radar right now, Al, and you're trying to get a view of how you can move forward toward what you got your sights set on that others aren't aware of yet. You might have people kind of starting to try to poke around in your business, maybe do a little intel. They want to know what your next move is, what you're up to. They may have noticed that you've been kind of like begging off on doing things lately. You've just kind of wanted to have some time to yourself to sort of sink into what's coming up for you and what's the best way for you to move forward. Because I think you recognize that there's some sabotaging energy around you, but with that first card that came out, the Nine of Swords in reverse, I do feel like, isn't it interesting, the 9 to the 10? It's almost like you've learned something from this, but you may not be understanding, you know, the way that it's so beneficial for you right now to just look at maybe your own motives as well. Are you sure about what your motives are? You know, this is a piece that's coming in, the ways that we can deceive ourselves, because in the shadow, Al can be known as the deceiver. It can also be a sign of magic's afoot, okay? So there's this piece here, if you are doing any alchemy work right now, or if you are on that type of a path, you know, what are your motivations? Where are they coming from? Where are your manifestations being birthed right now? Are they coming from your higher nature or more base impulses? Are they perhaps in the shadow side of looking back at how you were stabbed in the back and a desire to sort of like settle a score? For some of you, this may be coming up. I mean, I'm just noticing the look in this owl's eyes. This owl looks pretty intent, you know, pretty intent and focused. It's interesting. The sight's set on a bloom. Just notice that. It's focusing on this bloom, something that's growing even after there's been an ending. And we know with the 10, there's always a new beginning that follows. 10s are about closure, but also about renewal. And it's 10 on the clock just when I said that. So yes, you're definitely ending a karmic cycle where it looks like, you know, you were on the rough end of that, okay? But there's something that's coming through for you now that's growing. And I feel like it's in its first tender stages. So you have to guard this, you know. There's times when you have to really work with your medicine to be a little mysterious, you know. Do not feel the need to announce, broadcast your next move. Know that it's okay to kind of like keep things to yourself too. That doesn't have to be dishonesty. It's about having privacy, right? And sometimes that privacy is really important. I feel like that privacy is really important to you, especially moving through the remainder of this year. Integrity is something that's very big for you. It's very central to your character, but because of that, sometimes you can like just have the tendency to blurt things out or announce things when maybe it would be better to kind of like nurture certain things, in privacy. It feels like you have some energy around you that maybe isn't the most trustworthy, isn't the most loyal, or might have their own agendas. So this is something to be very mindful of through the year. But it's also that sense of integrity and the way you can kind of like just, share your thoughts. Is sometimes has people accusing you of, lacking tact, lacking sensitivity. That may be part of you, that is really bubbling up right now. You might be struggling with that a bit. You have to have certain conversations. You have to have certain exchanges. You're trying to find the right words. You have mixed feelings. Some of the things you have to say may not be the most well received, and you're kind of aware of that, but you don't want to sabotage what could be a new opportunity. Maybe there's certain challenges that need to be overcome in order for you to cross a certain bridge and get to the other side of something. And with that, there was a card that just fell in the crossing position on the floor. 12:13 I saw on the clock. So these are stages to progress. Yeah, this does involve some kind of healing. It could also involve with it coming in the crossing position, landing on the ground. It could involve that there was some kind of, third party interference that needs to be discussed, and something that caused a disruption, a brutal ending I got, some kind of severance of what you thought was a way forward, or maybe a connection that you wanted to nurture or develop more. There's something that came in between this coming together, and it was combative. I got, okay, it was combative, and I feel like you need to kind of like address this, navigate this to get this new beginning. And yet it's sort of like a prickly issue, or it needs to be handled with a certain level of sensitivity. You might feel kind of at odds within that because you're such like a natural born straight shooter that you just say what you have to say without necessarily thinking about how it'll land. And yet that there needs to be a certain level of tempering, that there's a way to say the truth. There is a way to say the truth that doesn't wound. You know what I'm saying? There's a way to talk about difficult things, where maybe what you have to relay is going to be difficult for the person to hear. But, sometimes it's more cruel to withhold the truth than it is to just sort of like cut the cord and call it as it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it seems like it can be a disruption to stability, but it's absolutely the opposite. It actually encourages stability, because nothing creates more of a sense of uncertainty or confusion or unstable foundations than just not knowing where something stands. How can you stand strong and stand tall on a foundation when you don't even know what you're standing on? You know what I'm saying? And if there is some situation you're navigating where there's been a lack of trust, or something happened where you felt really betrayed, there's a necessity to sort of like get a clear lay of the land, get a clear picture of the situation, and also contribute your piece to see maybe if you have an accurate understanding, you may not have an accurate understanding. So this is also about being open to receiving different perspectives, seeing things in different ways, okay? I do think that you're in a position where you're wanting to be free to do what's right for you. You don't want other people weighing in on your decisions. You're tired of feeling held back, hemmed in, trapped. I'm getting kind of like these sensations of frustration from feeling stuck, or maybe having to be put in a certain role that you feel like you never signed up for, this coming in. You're wanting to break free of an old identity. It just doesn't suit you anymore. And yet you feel like people kind of prejudge you in this way, that they think of who you've always been, and it doesn't allow room for growth for you to be who you truly are right now. So I feel like there's something you're preparing to like speak on, stand up for, bring forward. I recommend when you're going through negotiations like this, you might want to bring in some of your natural allies, like for stones, obsidian. Obsidian's very grounding, and it helps to clear out negativity, and it's a power stone for you. Amber is also a very beneficial resin for you. So anything you want to do connected with amber can be so beneficial for you. It can help really connect you to your sense of power, but in a grounded, rooted way. So you can exercise it without being too impetuous. You know what I'm saying? You can learn how to master all that innate fire you have within you. Al, you are associated with the element of fire, and you're also associated with the direction of the west. Some tribes will say northwest. It just depends on the tribe. But west is, the winds of the west, and it's an energy that can sometimes be very called to just be spontaneous, to go with the flow of the feeling. And when you think of the nature of fire, it's the same thing. It's like passionate, right? And there's a way that fire can be used where it can warm and it can get things cooking, and it can be very beneficial. It can be alchemizing. And there's a way that fire can be used that can be destructive. It can burn bridges. And so there's something here about, needing to just have a little bit of grounding as you're going through these experiences, where it looks like you're trying to unravel something, you're trying to negotiate something, you're trying to negotiate a new beginning, maybe reclaim a lost opportunity, or take lemons and make them into lemonade. I got that, right? Like maybe you've experienced some reversal, and you're trying to figure out, how can I work some magic here? How can I work with my innate magic and transform the situation? Some of you are actually working magic, and you have to temper yourself a bit, because in some cases you may be wanting to play Dharma dealer and sort of like settle a score, but that's the side of you that can be the impulsive side, that can end up kind of getting you trapped. It can get you into more trouble. And so there's also this need to understand that there is that reckless side of Owl Totem. And so sometimes it can help you to just get a little distance, get a little distance, pull back a little bit, get a proper lay of the land. And when I say in the land, I mean more internally, like creating space for yourself where you can kind of drop in and figure out, what are your motivations? What's really going on? And if you are feeling activated, or there's something coming up for you that you're needing to look at, and you have a hard time doing that, you might want to call in some of these grounding influences to support you. You might want to spend some time with a tree. Elder, mulberry, chestnut trees are all like spiritual sources of nourishment for you. They're trees that can give you a lot of grounding, but just trees in general have a lot of wisdom stored in those roots. When you spend time with a tree, you can learn a lot just about the natural cycle and nature of things. And they can be just wonderful allies anytime when you need to be strong, but also flexible. And I feel like that's coming in for you very much so throughout the remainder of the year. Yeah, there is something that you do need to stand up for. There is something that you do need to defend. And it's this direction that you want to head in. You want to head in a new direction. I think you're going to be letting people know about this. We have the 5 of Wands coming in with the 7 of Wands here. You're taking a stand You have a lot of people coming at you. They may not agree with you. Getting back to that magic piece, you may feel like you're in a bit of a little spiritual warfare here. Some of you may feel like that. You may feel like there's been a lot of energy thrown in your direction. There's been a lot of like evil eye kind of energy thrown in your direction. 2033 on the clock. I think in cases where you suspected that, you got 20/20 vision. You're seeing clearly. I also think you know how to alchemize it. You know what to do about that, because it was 2033 and it went to 2044 just as I finished that sentence. So you know how to master this situation. You master it internally. You don't let yourself get caught up in the fray, because you can see what others can't see. And I think that's what you're really recognizing here. You might be embroiled in something right now. Some of you are embroiled in a little bit of, kind of like a magical face-off. It's got like West Side Story vibes, only, the wizard version. I think you'll come out triumphant. You got a different perspective here. I also think you see what is motivating these people. Again, you have that ability to see the shadow side. You're comfortable with this side. You can see what's operating beneath the surface. And these people you're having challenges with. For others of you, it's just you're dealing with people who are acting out of their lower nature. They're combative. There's a lot of egos being thrown around. Everybody has an opinion about what's right for you in your life, and you're about to really switch it up on these people, and you're taking charge. I think you're going to alert them, announce to them about your choices, about what direction you want to move in. With the Page of Pentacles here, you are heading in a new learning cycle. So there's some new direction you're heading in. There's a learning curve with this, all right? For some of you, this is emotionally, you want a new beginning in love, but you're beginning by choosing yourself first, the Knight of Cups to the Ace of Cups. But you know that in order to move toward a new beginning in love, something that you're really wanting, not only do you have to learn how to really pour into yourself and value what your own intuition is telling you, what your own feelings are telling you, you also have to accept that certain things need to come to an end. And we have death here, all right, coming in very strongly. This is Scorpio energy. End of Scorpio season may have been very significant for you. I'm just noticing 2 are fallen here. 1 remains, okay? There's that 3 influence. Look at this. The death came in. There was some connection that was ended here, all right? I don't know why I just got, ooh. Ooh. Mm-hmm. This is interesting. I got this really interesting message with this. The 7 of Swords here coming in with the death. Look at this. I feel like these 2 are playing dead. They're not really down for the count. They're just playing dead. And they're doing it as a ruse to throw off this third party that's caused interference. Because this time, they're not going to be fooled again. That's what I got. This is very interesting. It's a little strategy. It's a little strategy. It's something that you've been brewing behind the scenes. You're actually getting prepared to either receive some kind of emotional communication or deliver some emotional communication. We have the Hermit card here, so there could be a Virgo factoring into this, but this is the new beginning. You may have heard something from a Virgo. You have some suspicions about it. This is also Pisces energy here. Okay, so this could potentially be somebody who's Virgo rising as well. Could be Pisces descendant. Very interesting. Very interesting, but there's something here about communication. It feels a little like, this could be somebody who's maybe trying to shine a light forward for you. They're trying to give you some guidance about a way you can kind of open up communication. You don't know if it's the best idea. You feel like it's a little like sus, okay? It leads to some kind of new beginning with the 2 of Cups, all right? So something's coming into alignment for you. That looks pretty good, all right? That looks pretty good. Let's see. Let's hear more about this, all right? Oops. Interesting. This just fell on the floor. Yeah, look at this. There's something coming in. There's some kind of love coming in here. For some of you, it's a water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. All right. Something's coming in. This is interesting. Look at how this owl has the wing over the Two of Wands. Look at that. Again, I got the same message. I got the same message. Look at this. Two are pretending like they're down for the count. Like it's finito. It's done. Because it's being protected. It's being cloaked. It's being hidden. So the way forward won't get blocked again. And meanwhile, this third party, Al, you're still standing next to them like, oh, it's just business as usual. That's what I got. That's what I got. Because there's some big love offer coming in here. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get some more details on this. This is kind of interesting. I didn't expect you were going to end up with a love focus read. You know, the holidays may be very special for you. You might want to bring in some of those holiday greeneries and beauties to just enhance your energy at this time. Poinsettia, mistletoe are associated with owl medicine, and they amplify your juju, you know. So just having these around you can sort of like raise the vibration in your atmosphere. Carnations as well are also associated with you. Ace of Wands in reverse. Interesting. Yes, right now you're delaying taking some action. Okay? I get that. It's like I feel like there's somebody that gave you an idea for how you could move forward, but there's something that has you a little bit apprehensive about it. Okay? What is this delay in action? Why is there a hold up here? For some of you, there is a king that wants to approach you and make a love offer. They might be getting some help from someone. I feel like you've been disconnected from this person, or otherwise, you know, kept apart from this person because of some kind of meddling. Some kind of meddling from a third party influence got in the way, and you felt betrayed in this situation, but something is going to be straightened out here. Something's going to be straightened out, but there's a little bit of a delay with this person coming forward, all right? For others of you, you're holding off on taking an action towards somebody that you want to connect with, all right? That there's been some third party element that's gotten in the way. Maybe you don't want to give the impression that you're just out to like hit it and quit it. Interesting. Six of Swords, okay? There's something you got to move away from first. And again, I feel like this might have to do with that third party influence. Like, and this might be painful, you know? It might be painful. You may have recently cut this off. Maybe this person even has been wanting to connect with you on a sexual level, but you've refrained. You've refrained because you don't want to give them false hope in this situation. This could be somebody that you were connecting with sexually, okay? And now you realize that you're wanting something more. You're actually wanting love. Not to say that you never had love with this person, but whatever was there has changed. It's gone through some kind of change. You're wanting to invest in a new direction, but you're refraining maybe from connecting sexually with this person at this time. There might have been something that happened recently where there was some kind of advance and you turned them down. Temperance, yeah, you're really trying to get yourself balanced out. And this is the card of Sagittarius. So there's so much here there's so much here. And look at this with the pyramid energy. I think you're really at this point of alchemy, you know. You might even be working. I keep getting this, you know, the sexual references coming in, and just noticing this with the Ace of Wands in reverse. You might be celibate right now, or you might be refraining from just having, if you used to have like a friends with benefits arrangement or like a casual hookup, you might be refraining from that right now, which might be disrupting things a little bit, but you know that something's shifting for you. I think that something has really captured your heart. And if it isn't a specific person yet, it's the whole idea of what it means to you to truly come into sexual union with another. Like, you're wanting something deeper. You're wanting to have real soul connection. I feel like a lot of you are heading more into these sort of expansive areas of consciousness. Maybe you've been on some path of spiritual growth. You've been diving into Tantra or yogic studies, or you've been exploring the metaphysics of sexuality. And you're starting to understand that you're just wanting a deeper kind of connection. And maybe you're wanting a partner that can connect with you on this level. You're just wanting something more, I feel. And so I feel like where you were just kind of maybe, you know, enjoying the carnal delights of life before and sort of sampling, or, you know, just maybe in some cases, if you were in a long-term relationship that lost its fire, you were just, you know, sort of making do. But there's something that is wanting to be ignited in you. It's the fire. It's the fire that got snuffed out, you know, and you're wanting to head in that direction. So I feel like right now you're trying to balance things out. You may be trying to balance things out with water. The water is really front and center here. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. There might be something you're trying to alchemize in a relationship with a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. There is something on the horizon. Again, look at the wing is like up. It's like shielding the light. Almost, it's like, I don't want you to see this direction I'm heading in. I don't want you to see this new beginning just yet, because I don't want it sabotaged. But yet you are trying to bring balance here. And I do feel like this is the challenge right now. You're trying to stay grounded as you're going through a very emotional process. Maybe the person that you're dealing with, that you have to balance things out with, is very emotional. Again, I'm getting water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And it's because you're ready to head in a new direction. 9 of Swords, okay? 5 of Swords. Yeah. Okay? This is where the anxiety is. You know, you're afraid of getting betrayed. You're afraid of, you know, somebody sabotaging this for you, and you're trying to throw them off of what your next steps are. But I have to bring this in because it was in reverse. Not only do I feel like you'll overcome this, okay? 33:44 on the clock. Everything you need to overcome this, it's all inside of you. And again, initially, this card came out for you in reverse. It's coming in upright now. So I feel like you project it outward. You projected outward this fear that this person or this situation, you know, outside of yourself can block this from coming in for you. But it's sort of a way that you sabotage yourself from really looking at what's really going on here, because I feel like you have everything you need to go ahead and claim what you want in your life. You have everything that you need to step into that new beginning you want to see. But there's something that's lingering in the shadow that you haven't looked at yet. It hasn't been brought into consciousness yet. King of Pentacles energy. All right. So this is the commitment piece. This is committing to a direction. Okay. And it's really being ready to stand on it, represent it, be all about it. It's also earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but it's about taking action, you know, putting your money where your mouth is, so to speak. You know, it's not just about paying something lip service, but actually following it through with tangible action. And it has something to do with moving forward and communication with the 8 of Wands here, followed by the 8 of Cups. You have to first let something go so you can move into that independent energy with the King of Wands here. There's your energy, Al. And there is that Ace of Wands, the ability to take action. I love how the lizard medicine is here. Lizard's all about dream time. So I feel like a lot of what's happening for you right now is happening on the inner planes. It's happening in visionary experiences. It's happening in the gaps of time where nothing's happening and your mind can just sort of like wander freely, and you start getting these sudden insights, inspirations, sensations, feelings, impressions, intuitive knowing. You're very perceptive. And I feel like there's been a lot that's been coming through that's been communicating very strongly to you about your next step. And I think you're just about there. You're just about there. Okay. What was out of balance, you're about to bring it into karmic balance. All right. You're just about there. I see this. It's coming in very strongly with the 2 of Pentacles to that Page of Wands. Again, Page of Wands is a Sagittarius energy. So you're the one who's really prepared to take this action. There's something you're communicating here. There is a letting go so you can follow your heart and what really speaks to you. This looks like it has something to do with balancing something out with another. This looks like karmic balance. It looks like coming to a place of peaceful resolution and letting go with the 4 of Swords. All right. Oh my goodness. And coming into this position of Emperor. All right. This is the embodiment of all 4 kings. It's learning the lessons of all of the elementals. And look at that, holding the Ankh, everlasting life. There's something here that you're being guided to do, and it's coming from a very deep part of you. You could be dealing with an Aries. You could be dealing with a Taurus as well, okay? You could have one of these placements very strongly aspected in your chart. Fire sign energy on the board here, water sign energy on the board. We got some Virgo significators here as well, okay? Definitely see you moving into a position of personal empowerment, taking a place of authority in your life, directing your own course. This is you like claiming your destiny. After a time of really being in lack for some of you, this is huge financial recovery. Oh my goodness, isn't that interesting? We got the 5 of Pentacles to the 10 of Pentacles here. Okay? 5 of Pentacles to 10 of Pentacles here. So I feel like you're in a situation right now. Isn't this interesting? Like playing, there's that playing dead again. Look, they're both injured, all right? You may have suffered some big financial setback or some financial loss, but you may not understand that there's something that you're connected to, actually, something that you still have allegiance to, or you're still investing time and energy in, that by you staying connected to this thing, it's actually preventing your growth. It's like as soon as you step away from this, your growth doubles. Once you bring this into balance, your growth doubles. It has everything to do with you making the choice to invest in the direction you want to head in, because look who's on the other side here. Queen of Pentacles. King of Pentacles to Queen of Pentacles. You're questioning right now. You have some direction you want to head in. You want to invest in this direction. You're wondering, should I invest? Would it be wise for me to invest? Yes. You'll move from this place of being debilitated to thriving. You'll move from this place of just kind of like phoning it in to living full throttle. You know, that's what I really see. The 5 goes to the 10. You flourish when you go in this direction. Whatever is here, it really prospers. For some of you, it could be related to a business venture. You know, it could be related to a business venture. You may get an opportunity to head in a direction you never could have anticipated going in. with your career, and it's something that to you would be like a dream come true if you could do this thing. I just saw like an image of you like doing some kind of production. This could be like production on some kind of set or something. Maybe you work in tech and you never thought of doing something in relation to the cinematic arts. You know, you're getting into some kind of production where this tech education you got is taking you in a totally different, inspired direction. You're wondering if you really can like go somewhere with this, if you can make a living with this. I know this is not for everybody, but it's coming through for somebody. This thing, this partnership, it's like, I feel like it's a startup. Maybe it's a startup film. It's a startup film that you're thinking of investing in. If you invest in this thing is going to take off. It's got like legacy energy in it, okay? But it requires your investment with the Knight of Pentacles. You have to make the investment. You have to be willing to move forward with this if you hope to get to that happiness on the other side of it. And it will come into balance. Look at this. Justice. Got Libra energy here, all right? Interesting. I like how the owl is looking here. Very interesting. The owl is looking upside down. And it's related to some kind of truth. And it's interesting because that sword, okay, this is reminding me this is reminding me of the sword of truth. It's reminding me of the sword and the stone, and that the parallels between that and Liafoil, the stone of destiny, where the stone is said to sing out when it's touched by a sovereign. So I feel like there's so much of this is coming into play here. There's something that's being balanced out karmically in this situation. And it has everything to do with you having gotten a new perspective with the Hanged Man on the other side here, okay? There's some kind of truth that needs to be exercised in order for this to come out balanced. Once these scales are balanced, you move forward in a very potent way, all right? But it involves you exercising some truth. I feel like you're still looking at this, but you're in the process of coming out of this. You're just about to move away from this. And once you do, look at this, 9 of Pentacles. This is related to work here, this portion. 9 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles. This is when your work opens up and it leads to some kind of happiness. And you move forward very rapidly with this, all right? You get a different team together. You'll be working with a different team, and this is what's really going to make things take off. You could be working with a Libra. Here comes the Swords energy in here, okay? Coming in with this Justice. We got the King of Swords with the Page of Swords, okay? So this could be a Libra, just for it to come out with Justice. It could also be an Aquarius or a Gemini, all right? You might get some kind of opportunity to, you know, head in a new direction with your work. It might be coming in from an air sign, all right? You might get some kind of message. Maybe they heard about something. I got my palm is itching. This is like money coming in, okay? It does involve you making some kind of choice, all right, with the Lovers here. There's some kind of choice you have to make. You have to move away from one thing to move in another direction. And there's some offer that you have to turn down so this can become accessible to you. And it was 44:11 on the clock. Once you do that, though, and you move away from this position, it's like, I feel like you're in the process of coming out of this position. 44:22. You've been in this place of contemplating. It's like you've been really considering, should I move away from this? What happens if I move away from this? 44:33. You got too many building blocks for your future. When you got all of these numbers coming in like this, when you got all of these building block master numbers coming in, 44, 44, this means that you are being asked to step into your future. Like the time to ponder it is over. It's about you taking active action. Look at your energy here. Knight of Wands. That's moving forward with passion and purpose. So it's interesting because there's this whole message that's coming in for you about moving forward very much from your heart, like really respecting what your intuition is telling you at this time, and that you do know where your heart is aligned. You know what the truth is in your heart. For you, it has to do with actually acting on it, investing in it, and taking those tangible steps to actually bring it into being, because you can't get to that King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles energy where you see like the dream manifest, or the relationship come together, or the new direction unfold, or the finances increase, until you actually like plant that seed. Nothing can grow until you actually take action. Nothing can happen until you draw Fraggle Rock, until you speak the truth, you take that action, you know, and then the new way can come into being. But I think you're coming into alignment with it. You're coming into alignment with it. You are getting some help. There's somebody who's giving you some guidance here. Yep, we got a lot of swords energy coming in here. It's all swords here. Very interesting. We have the Knight of Wands to the Nine of Wands to the Six of Pentacles to the Hierophant to the Queen of Swords. So you might be getting some kind of keys to move forward, to open certain doors in relation to a Queen of Swords. This could be somebody that you were connected to in the past as well, okay? This could be keys to freedom as well. Maybe there's two that need their keys to freedom. There's something that's being balanced out here on the ethers, on the spiritual plane. Oh, that's a very interesting message. I feel like there's some kind of waiting for some kind of payment to be made to balance things out. The payment comes through karmic action. This feels like it's rooted to something in the past that never was righted, like something that karmically remains to be done. That work is still on the table and it hasn't been completed yet. So until this is taken care of, there can't be a moving forward. It involves taking an action. It's got tithing energy to me. For some of you, that might actually help, like open up the crossroads if you go and do some tithing. All right. It might be good to do some kind of like service work or donating your time or your energy. There's something that needs to be karmically balanced here. I don't know why. It's got big like Saint Anthony energy to me. Anthony helps you find lost things. Anthony also holds the keys. Anthony can have association with Lepa, okay, who's the keeper of the crossroads, you know. There's some like, in order for you to gain entry to something, I really got this. There's like something needs to be paid in full. It's some kind of karma that needs to be paid in full. And this is the action that you need to take, that you're kind of like, you're holding back on it. I think because you're prepared for like kind of a fight. You're prepared to be met with defenses or something. And you just have to have the courage to face this, because once you do, it really opens up the road for you. I got that. I'm going to get you a Rebel Oracle here. See what wants to come in around this, just to give you a little additional guidance about that. There's a big opportunity to come up here, and in a very tangible way. And I see it two-part. There's a relationship that's in the mainframe, and it's somebody that's close to your heart. You want to have a healing and a connection in this situation, but it does revolve around you ending some other association or ending some other situation that's acting as a block. It's acting as a block to preventing this thing from coming into fruition. And I think that you're trying to sort of like hold back. You're trying to get more information, and maybe you're still seeking assistance or counsel from other people in relation to this matter, when really you should be listening to your own intuition and playing things more close to the chest at this time. Because once you take action and you invest in the direction that you know is true for you, and you execute what you need to execute in order to bring about karmic balance, which looks like releasing something to step into your destiny, okay? And it might not be easy to do. It might not be the easiest task for you, but there's something about this that leads to fulfillment. Receiving, look, in order to receive, there's something you first have to release. And then it's like that prayer, that longing, that desire you've had, it finally is nourished. Like what you want fulfilled is fulfilled. There's also this piece about the communications, like something needs to be spoken here. And I think maybe you might be trying to find the right words. Maybe you're asking other people for advice, or you're relying on somebody to kind of be the middleman in this situation. And everything that you need comes from within you. There's this piece here about, in order to receive guidance, direction, you don't need to look outside of yourself. You need to just trust what your own impressions is telling you right now. Because you do have this innate inner knowing. You're highly intuitive, right? And the more that you can kind of just get centered in your truth and ignore the opposition, the better off you're going to be, all right? There's something that's wanting to come forward here, but it requires letting something go to balance things out. You balance this out, you plant this seed, and it looks like so much grows from it. Look at this. Relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. Again, remember? I was saying, you think it's something outside of you that's blocking you from moving forward, but it's not. It's not. It's something subconscious that you haven't made conscious yet. 5155. Once you make this conscious, you will bring a close to the old cycle. You'll release what you've been holding on to out of like a crutch. That's what I got. It's a crutch. You don't need it. You do not need it. You are able to act of your own accord, of your own authority. We got Emperor energy here, okay? You can step into that position of self-mastery, but it really involves you calling forward your light. Look at that. You know, it's like rising up out of that darkness. It's like, this is the danger with Owl Totem, is there can be such a familiarity with the dark that it's actually stepping into the light is more frightening. It's more frightening to actually really move into that place of fulfillment. It's more frightening to receive. It's more frightening to really step into that place of empowerment and creativity and mastery and really claim your dreams, you know, make it happen, or just believe that things can get better. Sometimes it can be so much easier to hold on to the darkness or the unknown, because it keeps you in a space where you never have to take any kind of real, true emotional risks. But it's time for you to come to life. It's time for you to come to life. And once you do, it's all there waiting for you. I'm going to go ahead and do a cut of the deck. You're moving out of monotony, and you're ready to head more into living life by heart. And I think it's a beautiful thing. But there's some things that you have to close out in order to do this, because what you don't realize is all the areas where you're feeling blocked right now is because you're still holding on to something that you know its time is up. And this has been revealed to you. But you keep telling yourself you can't move forward because this is blocking your path, or it's this person, or this is what's getting in the way. And it's not. It's an illusion. It's something inside of yourself that's sabotaging you from really stepping into the fulfillment of all of those dreams you have, and all those longings you have, all those experiences you're wanting to have. They're all available to you. So dream a beautiful dream, and understand that you have the ability to transform whatever pattern is set in your life. But the way you transform a pattern isn't by thinking about it. It's by doing things differently. And so maybe it's time for you to just trust that things can be brighter and better. And on the other side of that, we have trust yourself, okay? Again, look at all this. This is giving me big Empress vibes. All right, I think this is Empress to Emperor. We saw Queen of Pentacles to King of Pentacles. This is the manifestation of the mirror of the other half, somebody you're going to build with. I feel like there is a building in this connection, in this relationship, that is both emotional and material. It brings richness to your life. It brings fulfillment to your life. It brings growth to your life. It brings abundance to your life. It brings flow to your life. It brings the light back into your life. And it's something that is evident and everybody can see it. So if you're like dealing with opposition right now, or people who don't support you in the direction you want to head in, or everybody has an opinion about what's right for you, the kind of work you need to do, the kind of person you should be with, now is the time for you to just really trust yourself and trust your own guidance and your intuition, and have the courage to look at the ways that you allow the stories you tell yourself to hold your back and keep you from moving into action. And that's the only thing holding you back right now. And once you do that and you face your fear and you go in the direction you want to head in, you're going to silence them all, because the proof is going to be in the pudding. And everybody's going to see that you knew the right course for you all along. But then you already knew that way.